Hey everyone, Chancellor here from Be Your Purpose Coaching. Today I want to explore with you the Minor Arcana cards. Now, when we look at the tarot deck, we know that the tarot deck is divided into two major groups, the Minor Arcana and the Major Arcana. While the Major Arcana has 22 cards and will represent life's bigger challenges and specific lessons that our soul has contracted to learn in our human experience, it's important to note that the major arcana represent big, significant chapters, such as a new baby, a marriage, a death, heavy duty illness. And so when we reflect on the minor arcana, there are 56 cards within this, and the minor arcana are going to represent day-to-day problems or day-to-day challenges that we can relate to. They help you explore who you are and offer you guidance from a different point of view. These are the cards that are most relatable in the entire deck. Now, you do need to take notice of your intuition when these cards come up, because sometimes their energy can be quite subtle. And yet, depending on the question, you can look at a minor arcana card and gain an understanding really easily. So, they can play both ways. These 56 minor arcana cards are divided into 4 suits. Each suit has 14 cards within them. So the suits are the suit of wands, the suit of swords, the suit of cups, and the suit of pentacles. So we know quite obviously that each card has a picture that is full of symbology that represents the meaning and the divine guidance that card wants to give to us in our readings. These cards don't require you to memorize them as much as they ask you just to experience their energy. You can either do this by pulling a card and journaling on its immediate impression on you, or you can meditate on the energy of the card to explore where the energy of this card is showing up in your life. So let's say that you pull the 6 of Cups and you see the 2 little children there, the happiness of the yellow energy, the glow, and you can just automatically know that that particular card is full of optimism and hope, playfulness, and maybe even just that sentimental energy. Yet, if you were to pull a card of like the Knight of Swords, we know right away that this person is dealing with anxiety, sleepless nights, some things are going on within their mind that is keeping them awake. So, how simple is that, right? Like the Minor Arcana cards, they really emphasize the message that they carry. So let's break this down between the wands, the swords, the cups, and the pentacles. Now, the wands is about action, goals, strength, creativity. it does carry the energy of like fire. So it wants to move fast. It wants to be passionate, wants to be absolutely full on. Now, thinking about a fire, it can rip through a forest pretty quick. And so with that, we know that the timing of the wands is things like days to weeks. So 2 of wands can represent 2 days to 2 weeks. The astrology is about Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And while I do not have a strong knowledge about astrology, I know that the astrology symbols do show up a lot within the tarot. So if you find many wand cards in a reading, you may be overly busy and need to refocus to put your needs first. Let's have a look at the swords. And the swords are all about thought, mental energy, intelligence, knowledge, communication, conflict, and analysing. So if you think about holding a sword and cutting it through the air, we can't see the air. And we can't see somebody's thoughts, and we can't actually see, somebody's intelligence. They may demonstrate it, but just like the air, the invisibility of our minds and how it works is exactly what the swords represent. At least that's how I remember it. Now, the timing of swords is about weeks to months. And so 2 of swords equals 2 weeks to 2 months. And it may be interesting to note that the season for the swords is winter. I just realised that I forgot to tell you that the season for the wands is autumn. here we go within the mind energy and and my remembering. Now, the astrology when it comes to swords is about Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. If your reading has a lot of sword cards, it is time to find balance in your life between being analytical and grounded. You may need to work through a level of anxiety of the mind and get in touch with your feelings instead of staying in the head. Now, the cups represent the emotional consciousness, feelings, relationships, healing and cleansing. I mean, just think about it. Just that cup itself holds the water. And the water energy is the closest we're ever going to get to that spirit energy. Now, the timing on cups, the emotional fulfillment there represents months. 2 cups equals 2 months. Represents springtime when there's that joy and the emotional fulfillment in the air. And the astrology is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. If you have a reading with lots of cup cards, it means that you're seeking emotional solutions and need to find creative ways to get your needs met. I may even add to that to say that if you're seeing a lot of cup cards, that the answer may actually be in taking action rather than staying in your emotions. Now, let's jump to Pentacles. Pentacles is fun. They represent finance, external consciousness, stability, manifesting, the material world and earth and grounding yourself. Now, this is the longest time period. It's months to years. So again, 2 pentacles could equal 2 months to 2 years. I would never actually encourage anybody to go too far into the future when doing a reading. I rarely go past 2 years, 2-3 years, unless we're talking about like how many children am I going to have, and it's like, yeah, I see 3 children coming in a span over 10 years, you know, that sort of thing. But I would never actually go into a timing reading for somebody of, okay, what's January going to be like for me 5 years from now? The timelines are going to shift. So the Pentacles also represent summer. Now, the reason that I bring up the season is because in a reading, it may be helpful to notice when somebody's loved one or their soulmate, is going to come forward. And you may get a sense of it being springtime. You can smell the fragrance in the air. And so instead of giving somebody a definitive time, like, oh, I see it happening, you know, such and such month, you may actually just, you know, span out the amount of time to say, yeah, I see flowers. It looks like springtime. So the seasons that come forward, the astrology that comes forward with Pentacles is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. If your reading has a lot of Pentacles, it means that you're overly focused on money and your career. More planning is needed for you to find a solution. So this may be somebody like somebody's husband or somebody's dad who has a high value on providing for their family. And so instead of coming home to spend quality time, they value their identity in being a provider and choose to be at work a lot longer. So some of the Pentacle cards will bring this to your attention, that your values are out of balance and that maybe you need to spend more time with family or loved ones and friends. So that's a very quick rundown of what are the Minor Arcana, the higher levels and the higher themes that go on. Remember, it does take time to learn the tarot, so just enjoy the experience of connecting with the amazing energy within each and every card. Just allow yourself over time to become familiar with each card and how it relates back to your life. Once you gain an understanding, like what I was saying with the 6 of Cups, once you gain an understanding, you can very quickly read that for somebody else. We all have very similar life experiences at the end of the day. We all want to be loved, we all want pleasure, and we all want to avoid pain. And so within the Minor Arcana, we can give somebody some really clear guidance moving forward. I'm Claire from Be Your Purpose Coaching. I hope that helps, and I'll talk to you later.